Thanks for joining the National Weather Service in Missoula for our planning briefing. Today is Sunday, October 30th. Let's look beginning with through Monday night period as a warm Pacific Ocean moisture plume will be moving overhead. We'll see some gusty winds, particularly over the mountain passes. Tuesday and Wednesday, we really want to highlight here because we're going to see a significant pattern change. Snow levels will be dropping with accumulating snow and gusty winds combining to create winter weather scenarios across the region. Thursday, we'll see dwindling snow showers over the terrain, and then the beginning of a next prolonged Pacific moisture event next weekend, and this will be favorable for increasing mountain snowpack, but the winter impacts for our valleys is less clear during this time. First of all, let's look at the satellite over the northern Pacific. We can see a fairly good plume of moisture as evidenced by these clouds headed toward the northern Rockies. This will gain strength over the next 24 hours into Monday night to increase cloud cover over the area and increase winds aloft. And here's what it would look like on the models with the moisture plume heading out over the Pacific and heading towards the northern Rockies here. And this will increase winds and moisture into the area. Also, the moisture plume will be combined with the cold trough that's up here closer to Alaska, and that will create our higher impact weather in the Tuesday to Wednesday period. So what kind of confidence do we have in this cold, snowy pattern Tuesday to Wednesday? Well, what we're showing here are some clusters, and basically it's looking at various models and their ensembles and how they tend to agree with or cluster around a certain model solution. What you can see in panes 1, 2, 3, and 4 is all the variability among our models and ensembles. And qualitatively, you can't see a big difference. All of these look fairly similar with some slight timing and detail differences, but it's mostly the same solution, so there's quite a bit of agreement. So the average, which is the fifth pane here, is fairly representative of what the other four clusters are showing. So there's a fairly good confidence in this Tuesday to Wednesday pattern coming about. So what does that translate to in terms of the snow expectations during this time? So we have 2, 4, and 6+ inch snow probabilities from midday Tuesday to midday Wednesday. We see fairly high probabilities of 2 inches or greater over north central Idaho and along the Continental Divide in western Montana. Less so for 4-inch and 6-inch probabilities, but they're also pretty much clustered over the terrain north central Idaho, western Montana along the Continental Divide. But don't discount the lower elevations to have some impact from snows, particularly southwest Montana. And the reason we say that is that we're expecting some of the coldest air for population centers to be down in that area. And so a transition from snow that's melting on the pavement to some that is accumulating and turning to slush or to ice could be significant, especially for traveling over the Continental Divide come late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So shifting gears to next weekend, we're showing our clusters here in panes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we see a lot more differences between the cold colors and warm colors and the pattern, but overall, what all these different patterns are suggesting is a pretty good snow event for the mountains. And so we're fairly confident that we're going to see increasing snowpack during this time, but what is lower confidence is how this pattern change will impact valleys of the northern Rockies. Certainly, pane number 4 here suggests a deeper, colder storm system that would be able to produce surface low pressure, which you tend to need in these scenarios for a high impact event for valleys. So the median of all these, the average of all these would be a fairly representative solution for mountain snow during this time. To kind of dig down deeper into this is looking at how much precipitation, liquid precipitation, we're looking at in our models in ensembles during this time. And even on the low end here in cluster 1, we're seeing 2 to 4 inch accumulations for the Pacific Northwest, and then further in the Northern Rockies, it's somewhere in the inch to 2 inch range. But even some of the higher amount clusters, 2 through 4, aren't unreasonable solutions. And once you average them all out, we're looking at a fairly good chance of the being in the 1.5 to 2.5 inch range for north central Idaho along the Montana border, and then up here along the Continental Divide, including Glacier Park and Bob Marshall Wilderness. So just something to watch right now. We should have some more details on this by the time we get to Thursday's recording. Brings us to our weather impact overview. To recap, on Monday we see a strong moisture plume moving over from the Pacific, increasing our winds and maybe providing some snow for the passes in northwest Montana. And then on Tuesday, we'll rapidly be transitioning during the afternoon with some winter weather developing with snow and wind. And we're really keen on southwest Montana having quite the transition from snow melting on the pavement to then slush and maybe ice and snow accumulation soon after, particularly over mountain passes like Homestake Pass. Snow will continue at all elevations all the way through Wednesday morning. Accumulations, there are some outliers in our modeling showing over 6 inches, but those are fairly confined to higher terrain, otherwise low probability for lower elevations. And then snow showers linger on into Thursday. That concludes our briefing for today. If you have any questions for us, you can call us at the number below, and otherwise we'll see you on Thursday, November 3rd. Thanks and have a great day.